I want to talk to you about suicide. Have you ever been so broken, so depressed, felt like you lost your purpose, you lost your meaning and your reason for living? I have been there myself. I can relate. I know what it feels like. I also know what it feels like to keep living. The fight it takes, because it is a fight. Sometimes it's a fight every day. Sometimes it's scratching and clawing and just really physically fighting for your life. But I can tell you right now that you have a life worth fighting for. I'd like to share a little bit about my journey with this. When I was lost in my addiction, I tried to commit suicide. I took a bunch of pills. My dad ended up calling the ambulance. They came and got me. I went to the hospital, had my stomach pumped, and from there I went to a mental hospital. I was there for about a week, 2 weeks, something like that. And leaving there, I felt much better. I felt lighter. I got out of that hospital and tried to rebuild, tried to start over. Okay, starting over. New mindset, got a job, started working. Somewhere in the middle of that, I fell back into old people with my addiction, and once again I was lost in my addiction. Fast forward 6 months, I lived 6 months in chaos again, just straight chaos. I found myself at my lowest point. Many things, from having nowhere to go, sleeping on rooftops at apartment complexes, just being out on the street, just living just a life that is beneath me, a life that Jesus did not die for me to have, a life in bondage, and I was miserable, and I was more broken than I had ever been broken in my entire life. In that time period, I got in trouble, and eventually I ended up being locked up. As I was sitting in a 23-hour lockdown, alone with myself, in the worst company ever, in my head with the worst thoughts. Like I said, I was at my lowest point. I was in a dark, dark place. A big black hole is all I can describe it as. Just black, just straight a pit. Not caring and not thinking. Like, I remember being there and just thinking, like, why am I even breathing? What do I have left to live for? Like, I felt more of a burden being alive than I did for, like, a reason to live. I thought I only brought my kids pain. I only brought my family pain. I only brought just sadness and gloom and just being just disappointment. I just felt like I was just a plain disappointment, that I had just become a disappointment, and I was hurting those that loved me and one time were proud of me, that they were just so disappointed and they would never see anything good come of me. And I honestly felt like I would be better off not living than living. And I remember I was locked in my cell, and they came and they said I had a visit. It was through video, and I thought, who is coming to see me? Like, why would anybody come to see me? I couldn't think of one person it would be. Thought everybody was already written me off and just counted me out. And I remember it was my grandma. And she came to see me, and she had these words to say to me, is what really pulled me back. She told me that she loved me and that she still believed in me and she was here for me. Those words right there is the reason I'm standing right here, right now. I had a little stash of pills I had, and I was just waiting and just sitting in my sorrow for, I guess, a while longer. But my plan was to take them and hopefully not to wake up, and hopefully just to help everybody else just live in relief and not have to be a disappointment any longer. But when my grandma came and she spoke those words to me, I thought that nobody loved me, nobody cared, and everybody was disappointed in me, and nobody still believed in me, and that nobody was there for me. I felt all alone. And when she spoke those words, I knew that I could not go through with it. I knew that she would be so heartbroken, that she still loved me somehow, some way. I don't get it. I don't know why she still loved me, but she did. And that visit changed my life. Those words spoken to me snapped me out of it. Not fully, like I went back into myself and I broke down. And like I say, like when you are really seeking and you are really sad and in that low place that you think that suicide is your only way out, you are completely broken and you feel hopeless and helpless. And in that very moment, I just humbled myself to God and I broke down. I remember crying and crying for hours and just being so broken. I flushed those pills and I just prayed. And from that moment on, I just kept praying and praying that He would help me, that my heart, which I didn't even feel like I had a heart anymore, but I just felt like here I am, like it didn't matter, like it couldn't get worse. Like I was at my lowest point, and when we are weak, He is strong. And He strengthened me, and through that journey, it was about a 2.5-year journey. I just from that moment on humbled myself, and it took a lot of work. But God never left my side, and He worked with me through all of it. I had a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, a lot of sin, a lot of things that I just had to take to Him. And I just took to Him humbly, and He was so patient with me, and we worked it out. And He showed me that He loves me. He still has a plan and a purpose for me, and He feels the same about you. So no matter how low you feel, no matter how helpless, just know that God has a plan for you. He did not die for you to, He did not give up His life so you can suffer. He died so we can have life, and not only have life, but have it abundantly. And if you just really just humble yourself to God, if you are in that broken state, I just say just come to His feet and lay it all out and watch what He does. He will literally take your ashes and turn it to beauty. He will literally take your brokenness and give you hope and give you a life. Like I can't even imagine, like from then on, like God has done nothing but restore and rebuild, and I would never have thought I'd be where I am right now. In that moment, if I didn't have somebody come to me and speak those words over me, I wouldn't be standing here right now. And so I'm so forever grateful. So just reach out. When you feel like you're alone, you are never alone. There's always somebody there for you. And God can see everything. You are never alone. He is always with you. He says He will never leave us nor forsake us. So I just say, like, if you are in that state of brokenness, like, go to your Creator. Turn to God. Like, even if you don't have a relationship with him, if you feel you are so broken and you don't really know him, just, you have nothing else to lose, right? Nothing can get worse, and he will just make it all so much better. During my time, I ended up going to prison. During that time, I just used that time with God and dealt with all my crap, all my brokenness, all my distress, all the things, the mess that I had made in my addiction, in my active addiction. He helped me heal from. And I can say the hardest part of that healing process was forgiving myself. Just know that you are not perfect. We are not perfect. We were never meant to be perfect. And no matter what you've done or haven't done, no matter what you've said, no matter what, like, it doesn't matter what it is, that God still loves you, that you are not too far gone, that your life and your soul is worth saving. So I just want to tell you to fight because it's worth it. While I was away, I was led to some scriptures. And I just remember being in my cell and just like, they like literally came to life for me. And I thought, oh, like, how amazing. Like, Joel 2:24 talks about, you can go and read more about it. So I'm just going to kind of go over a little things that really spoke to me. Joel 2:24, restoring the years the locust has eaten. I will restore to you for the years that the swarming locust ate, the young locust, the destroying locust, and the devouring locust. You will have plenty to eat and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, who has dealt with wondrously with you. I really like that, because to me, it's like a metaphor of restoring all the years that my addiction had taken from me, that I took from myself, just running rampant, just restoring everything that I felt that I had lost, everything that I loved that was gone, that he would restore that back to me. And he has done just that, and more. My life right now has been more than I could have ever thought it would be. And I'm so grateful, and I have plenty, and I'm satisfied. My soul is satisfied. I'm satisfied with my life of where I'm at. And so that just is symbolic, like, for me. And I even had one time had a dream about the locusts, and just about the restoration. And God is a God of restoration. Believe that. He can restore anything. And the other one is Ezekiel 37, speaks about the dry bones, how things that were dead, dry bones are things that we thought are dead inside of us, that our life that was dead. I felt like my life was dead, that there was no reason for me to be sucking air. I felt so hopeless and helpless, and this, it's like, He restores that. He puts breath back in you. What was once dead, I was once dead. I was literally the walking dead. And he restored me in my life. He put breath back in me. He gave me a pep in my step. He gave me purpose. He gave me a life worth living. I used to have a life that I didn't find worth living, and I felt like there was nothing worth living about it, and God has done nothing but restore that and given me a life to live for. And he can do the same for you, I promise you. No matter how broken or how far gone you feel that you are not. You are not too far gone for God to restore. I am living proof of that. So he will restore life back into you. So get up, shake it off, let your bones rattle, shake it off. He's going to give you his breath. He puts it in your body so you can live on. And Exodus 18:18. You can go, and I encourage you to look it up and read the story. These are all great stories. These are great verses, but basically saying that we are not meant to carry the load alone, that we are meant to have help from others. If I didn't have my grandma to come and speak those words over me, I wouldn't be standing here. We have to reach out. We are put here for relationship, for each other. So lift each other up. Exodus 18:18. You and your people will certainly wear yourselves out, for that thing is too heavy for you. We are given things and we have things that come upon us that are too heavy for us to deal with by ourselves, and we are never meant to. So I just encourage you to reach out. Let somebody else help you. Let somebody else help you carry that load. Now obey my voice. I will give you advice and God will be with you. We are to lean on to other people. We are not meant to do things on our own. So I just encourage you that your life is worth living. You have a reason. You are put here on purpose for a purpose. If you need help, reach out. There's always somebody willing to help you. If you feel like you don't have anybody, let me be that somebody. Come find me. I'll help you. Because your life is worth living. I can't imagine what I would have given up had I not kept fighting. Had I not lived on, I would be giving up so much goodness. After every dark night, there's a bright day. Sunshine awaits you. Sometimes we have to crawl. Sometimes we have to scratch. Sometimes we have to go through some dark moments. And in those dark moments, they will only strengthen you, and it makes the brighter days so much brighter. So I'm just going to encourage you to keep living. Keep fighting. You are worth fighting for. Your life is worth living. I want to leave you with a blessing. Numbers 6:24. May God bless you and protect you. May God make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May God look with favor on you and give you peace. My friend, I pray for your protection and for peace. And just know that God is with you. You are never alone. So in your darkness, let God be the light. And if you need someone to talk to, get help. Reach out. Your life is worth living.